In this week's Tableau Tip Tuesday, I'm going to show you how to use one parameter with unlimited number formats. Let's start by creating a parameter. And this parameter is going to allow my user to select the metric they would like to view. So I'm going to call it choose a metric. I'm just going to make it a string list. And it's going to be things like sales, profit, discount, profit ratio, unit price, and shipping cost. Okay, so now that we've got that parameter, we need to tell Tableau what to do with it. But first, let me just go ahead and build a really simple view. So let's say we've got ship mode. Let's maybe do it by region. I'm sorry, product category by region. And the typical view would be to have something like sales on the columns. But we want this measure here to be dynamic based on the metric chosen. So let's go ahead and show our parameter control. And for simplicity, I'm just going to make it a single value list. So the first thing I need to do is I need to create a calculated field that returns the value of the parameter. So I'm just going to call it metric value. I'm going to do a simple case statement. I'm going to say when sales is picked from the list, then I want sum of sales. When profit is chosen, then I want the sum of profit. When discount is selected, then I want the average discount. So notice how I'm using different aggregations here. When it's profit ratio, then I want to do the sum of profit divided by the sum of sales. When they choose unit price, then I want it to be the average unit price. And lastly, when they pick shipping cost, then I want you to return the average shipping cost. End. Okay, so now that we have that, we can just go ahead and throw that onto the view. And as we toggle through the different options, we can see our view changes. Okay, and then let's go ahead and take metric value and put that on color as well. This is nice because when we get to things like profit ratio, we'll see the negatives pop out. Same thing with just regular profit. Okay, great. But now the problem is the scale on the axis isn't the right way. So with sales, we want that in pounds, profit in pounds, discount. We want sales and profit both just rounded to the nearest pound. We want discount averaged to the nearest penny. And same thing with unit price and shipping cost. And then we want profit ratio to be a percentage. So how can we do that? Well, this is going to require us to create 6 different calculations. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to call this one sales value. Oops. And the calculation is pretty simple. I'm just going to say if the choose a metric is equal to sales, and then put a comma, then I just want to do the sum of sales. Otherwise, null. Okay. So now I can duplicate this, and I'm going to call this profit value. And this time, if they pick profit, I want to return the sum of profit. Actually, I probably could make this even easier. Each time, instead of, I could just return metric value. That might be even easier. So let me change sales value. All of these, I don't need to repeat that. I could just make this metric value. Okay, so we've got sales and profit. Let's duplicate again. This time we want to do discount. I'm just going to call it discount value. So that's going to stay the same. Duplicate again. Okay, we're almost done, I promise. Call this one profit ratio. When they pick profit ratio. Duplicate again. 2 more to go. Let's call this one unit price value. Okay. And then one more for our shipping cost. Okay. Okay, so now that we have each of these, all we need to do is format them. So I'm going to start with the discount value. I'm going to set my default number format to be currency standard and hit OK. I'm going to set my profit ratio to be percentages to 1 decimal. And actually, I'm going to customize that. I want to put a plus in front of this, and I'm going to go ahead and throw a little upward triangle after it, meaning it's positive. I'm going to put a semicolon, and then I'm going to do minus 0.0% and put a downward triangle. Okay, and for profit, we want to set the default number format to currency custom because we don't want any decimals this time. And the negative values, let's just leave it like that. It's fine, leave it as automatic. The sales value, we need to set the default number format for that to be no decimals. And then the shipping cost, we want that to be currency standard. And unit price, default properties, number format, currency standard. Okay, so now what we could do is we could take all 6 of these and we could throw them onto the label shelf. Okay, so let's go ahead and tell Tableau to match that to the marked color. I think that looks, sometimes that looks a bit nicer. Okay, so now what's happening? So if I switch to sales, you can see I see some of the sales values, but not all of them. So how can I fix that? Well, that's pretty easy. And this is the trick. So I'm going to click on the label shelf, hit the 3 dots, and notice how these are all on separate lines. All I need to do is just move them all up to the same line. And what Tableau is doing, because it's returning nulls when that metric isn't picked, it just doesn't draw and doesn't write anything on the label shelf. Hit OK, and there we go. So maybe our metric value, so in this case our discount, it looks like it's probably not, actually this should be a percentage. So I need to edit my number format for my discount and just make it percentage. Okay. So now if I pick sales, I could see the sales for each. Let me go ahead and make this fit entire view. I could see the sales by region. When I do profit, I could see the profit, and I could see my negatives look really nice. When I do discount, I see my discount as percentages. My profit ratio is displayed as percentages, but it also has this nice little symbol on the end. Well, if you don't like that symbol, you can just go ahead and take that off. So you can put ASCII symbols into the view. Okay, let's just make it percentage 1. Okay, unit price, so that's in pounds and pence. And then lastly, shipping cost is the same way. So what I would do from here is I would go ahead and hide my region label, and I would go ahead and hide my header for my metric value. And then I would make sure that metric value is not included in my tooltip. Because what I want is now I'm going to go in and clean up my tooltip. I'm going to have my product category, my region, and now what I'm going to stick in here is I'm going to put the metric chosen, and then I'm going to just list out all of the values like we had before, just like we did on, like we have on the label. Okay, I'm going to untick the including command button. And now you see when I hover over, I could see it says shipping cost, things like that. If I switch it to sales, it now says sales in the tooltip. So this is a really neat way. You obviously could extend this to many more to many more number formats if you had more. But hopefully you found this helpful. I'll throw this together into a nice clean dashboard along with the video. And I hope you have a great day.